Hello, Education 380, Education 500. If I look like I'm about ready to cry, it's because I just recorded this video and forgot one thing. I actually didn't record it, and it's the record button. So I will do my best not to run through this fast because there's a little bit to cover. So anyway, enough about my tales of woe. So here's the important thing. We're almost at the end, believe it or not. This is week 4. I'm looking at my calendar. Week 5 is an abbreviated week. The semester actually ends on the 23rd. And let me just go ahead and share screen. I'm still trying to recover that I did not record this earlier. Technology, hey, you know, happens to the best of us. Excuse me if I'm coughing, by the way. Pollen. If you look, there is the end of the semester. It is the 23rd. That's it. That's when everything is due. I'll make sure that, you know, after that date, I really probably can't take anything only because I need to get it graded unless there's like a real big emergency. If something really comes up, you can email me. The other thing I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page with, I've been grading a lot coming in the last 2 weeks because it's an abbreviated class. You all have been doing awesome. If you see a weird number like a 5, 6, 7, that's usually just a placeholder because I can't open the tech. I can tell that you did it. I can't see it. So just do me a favor and email it to me. Usually I'll put in there, can you please email it? I'll update the grade. Also, if you have email me an assignment where I put one of those placeholders in, just if I haven't updated yet, I'm recording this on the 9th of June. Just fire me an email. I'll go in and check. I probably overlooked it. I really try my best to go back through and do a sweep, but I miss things. I'm, you know, human like anyone else. So it will not offend me. Hey, I emailed this to you because you couldn't grade it. Could you take a look at it? And I will definitely do that. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and dive in? Also, I want to give a brief apology. This Brightspace page on 380 has been acting a little quirky. It keeps reverting back to the old syllabus. I've updated this about 3 or 4 times in the last day. I have to keep loading it back on. It has the current one on right now, though. This is it. Let's cruise on down. There's actually not a lot to do this week. The main thing that you have to do is just kind of some of the project stuff, and some of you have already done it. But just to highlight, you got a discussion for, and actually it says varied approaches. I've actually got that connected to social media now, so that probably kind of applies, but it's not perfect. Also, I'm going to tell you, these are just templates. I'll show those to you here at the end. The main things you all have to worry about are the fun tech, the lesson plan, and the Apple certification. There is a discussion 4, there is a discussion 5. There is a blog 4. I am actually going to give everyone credit for blog 5 already because I feel like the tech review kind of already does that. And I feel like you're just writing 4 reviews. So I'm just going to require blog 4. I'm actually just going to give everyone credit for blog 5. Everyone's been knocking it out of the park with all the tech. And I know it's an abbreviated class. So that's just my gift to you. It's just make sure you do blog 4. Blog 4 can be any tech that you have not already reviewed in this class. So if you did Nearpod and you didn't do Wakelet 1 week, or you didn't do Flipgrid, or you didn't do Pear Deck, or there's some tech that you have not mentioned in your fun tech review or anything else, and you just want to get a little shout out to it, that's fine. Just do it. Just blog 4. Like I say, I'll have blog 5 already marked in as completed. How I'm going to approach this, I'm going to talk about fun tech first, lesson planning second, and then I'm going to talk about the certification last. And then we'll kind of go back and do a rehash. At 500 at the very end, excuse me, we're going to talk about the research paper. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. As you can see, it's all right here. This is what we're going to talk about. I do want to make a note real quick. Again, this is where we're in such a short crunch of a class. For your fun tech review, when I talk about it in a minute, you can do some of these things that are here, like Classcraft and Class Dojo. If you're in elementary, you're probably familiar with them, but they're classroom management techniques or tech. That can apply to fun tech if you're familiar with it. A lot of people in here are just kind of starting their educational certification journey. Some are coming close to the end. So don't worry if you don't know what Class Dojo is. It's basically like an interactive classroom management monitoring thing. We don't have accounts for it here at St. Joe's. So I just wanted to make you more aware of it than anything. You can check out tons of videos on it. And Classcraft is more of a middle school one. I've heard people use it in high school, but I've heard more in middle school. And it's like a Class Dojo for middle schoolers where it's a little more hardcore because, as you can see, they have like World of Warcraft style figures and avatars, things like that for students, and it just monitors. So if you want to check those out, that's just something I wanted to make you aware of. What was there anything else? Oh, and the other thing I wanted to make you aware of before we jump into fun tech, there's something on social media that's about using Twitter and Facebook in your classrooms. Like I've seen some pretty cool things, like where one social studies teacher I knew, he would actually go on the Twitter as Abraham Lincoln, and students would have to tweet him questions about himself, and he would answer them as Abraham Lincoln, as if he was Abraham Lincoln. That's pretty cool. A lot of teachers are not comfortable doing the social media thing with students, and quite honestly, I can't blame them. But there are some cool things that are out there, such as different templates. I don't know if I still have it pulled up. Yes, I'll put these up. They're not there right now, but if you go to certain things like sites like Ditch That Textbook, there's templates that come up where people want to incorporate some cool stuff. Like I want to have my students tweet as a historical character or as a person from a book or something like that, but I don't want to use Twitter. You can find templates where they're basically set up just like a Twitter page, and they can just do tweets, and you can have the students do multiple ones. I use one called Farcebook to a lot of success with my students. Whoops, and I'm sorry, I got that thing blocking it a little bit. Let's see if I can find it. I thought I had it on there. I'm going to send, well, I'll post these. Farcebook. Farcebook actually, doggone it, it's going to be on Facebook. That's Facebook Farcebook. If you look, oh yeah, there's different things. You can buy an account for Farcebook, which again was a fun tech that I liked. The only thing is there are so many Word documents now that you can use for Farcebook. Let me see if this will pop up here. When I did it, students could do, I taught West Virginia history for a long time, did a little bit of 7th grade, and I would have them do things. It was up earlier, sorry. I was messing around with it actually. Let's just see. A lot of people use it for book reports too as an alternative. Yeah, this will work. All right. So you can see here, that's a little, let's see if we can pull that up. It's supposed to be a little tongue-in-cheek, but you get a template. Sorry, I wouldn't hate babbling while I'm looking for this. I should have pulled it up. Let me go back and see if I can get another one. Well, I think you can see it's set up like a Facebook page, and these templates, which there's tons of them usually online. Let me see if I can get one. I just wanted to show you. Oh, there you go. That's a great one. Okay. See, they take famous people. Oh, Elizabeth Browning, Barrett Browning, if you're an English person. And you can see they just do background. They have to research it and fill all this in, who they hung out with their friends. You can find these Word templates. I still have one. I will post it. It's not on my computer here at work. I just kind of thought about it. And you can see that homeschooled. I would actually let my students get a little fun, like when we would do something on the Crusades, where if there was Pope Urban II who called for the Crusades, it says, I think, favorite movie or music. There was one that I think there's some that say movie or maybe favorite book or something like that. Favorite book might be something like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the novel, or something like that. Crusades, ha 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 ha. But students have to do a really, some research to kind of put this in there and see who they networked with and all. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there if you're not comfortable with social media in the classroom, which I wouldn't blame you if you are. So if you aren't comfortable, wouldn't blame you there either. Oh, excuse me. All right. Next thing, that's just kind of some examples of fun tech. But with all that being said, if you go down here, here's the assignment. You have to pick 2 texts that you have not used in this class. You can do, if you did Nearpod and you want to pick Pear Deck, go for it. That can be one of your fun texts. If you don't want to do any of the texts that I've done and you want to find your own, that is fine. Maybe you were, when you were in school, K through 12, a teacher used something that I haven't mentioned in this class and you want to do a review on it, that's fine. It helps me actually in a lot of ways because I like to see some text that maybe I don't know about. Also, you can do websites that are maybe very interactive, things like that. Just something towards your content area. If you're in elementary, you can pick anything in a specific content area. You pick 2 different ones. That's all fine. Just something you think you might use down the road or you would consider using. I have some links here. PE, I should throw out to PE. PE has a ton of different texts that I don't get into in here. Maybe there's something like a gadget, or a lot of people have done, I think, hopefully this link still works. A lot of people have done some stuff with like related to music apps and stuff. Oh, there you go. 100 ways to use, PE in a classroom. Fit radio, I think I've heard. Those are all fine. Just fun tech that you would maybe use in the classroom. And if you need it, I usually try to keep a running tech thing if I remember to update it. If you look here, there are some texts. Don't do anything we've done in here, but like, I don't think I got into vocabulary. A lot of people like vocabulary. Brain pop, I didn't get into. Those are things you can do. Bitmoji, these are all different texts. Easily, Weebly. I've mentioned Canva. Since we didn't really do anything with it, if you wanted to do something like with that for fun tech, that's fine. Just 2 technologies that I have not talked about that you think would be beneficial to you or website. You're welcome to use the links that I have on there, or you're welcome to use something, your own knowledge from experience in the classroom. If you've been able to, if you're in the end of your educational journey and you've been out in the field and you've seen some cool stuff, go for it. If you haven't been out in the field, but you know some stuff, go for it. If you want to research a little bit and find some cool websites that you might use, that's fine too. It's really a blank canvas. When you do this, you got to pick 2. I'm going to hold this up because sometimes some people do 1, but you need to do 2. And we need to be about a paragraph, solid paragraph. And in case you're wondering, a solid paragraph for me would be probably 4 to 5 to 6 sentences. And you just rate it on a scale of 1 to 4 stars, 4 being the best. And if you really want to get creative, you can do the Rotten Tomatoes thing and say it's certified fresh instead of the stars or anything like that. That is the fun tech. Just pick 2 texts that we haven't looked at or you haven't used in this class and just kind of give them a review. That's why I only wanted you to do 1 other blog, because I think 4 reviews is just kind of repetitive. Next, lesson plan. This is the one I could cry about because it's probably going to take me the longest to talk about. But I'm going to try to streamline it. I did get a little winded on the prior version when I was filming. So let's do this. Let me look. Yeah, just making sure I'm recording as I get this. I see the thing going. All right. Couple things with the lesson plans. 1, I'm going to go back up here. If you remember way back at the beginning of the semester, I mentioned that we're guinea pigs for something called iRubric. And with that, I have put everything in something just called lesson plan assignment. If you click here, there are 2 submission areas. I would strongly suggest submitting your lesson plan in both spots. I'm going to talk about the submission first and then the assignment. I know it's a little backwards, but since I'm on that frame of mind, let me do it. All right, this is just your traditional Brightspace submission. Once I pull up the template and you fill it out, go for it, just submit it there. I'm also asking that you give this a whirl. This is called iRubric, and let me do this. I'm going to switch to a learner. Slowly switch to a learner. I'm going to go back. Oops, I was there. What the heck am I doing? All right, when you click on this, it's going to take you somewhere a little different. It's going to look like iRubric. You're going to see this in the fall. This is our new, how we're gathering our key assessments and things like that. We used to have something called TK20. We've switched to iRubric. All right. There are some names that are already in here, but if you look, you're going to get something like this, and this is the rubric for the lesson plan assignment. You look here, you're going to upload documents. You're going to click upload, and you can do there. I can actually get rid of those if I wanted. As you can see, I've been experimenting, but you're just going to click upload. And I'm just going to pick something that's just ridiculous. Let's see. I don't know why I'm really thinking this through. Let's just pick that. And you can see it's loading. It's loading. Now, what happens is that is now uploaded to your iRubric. And let me see something real quick here. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting, all right, it's in there. It should be, let's see. Yep, there it is. Once it's in there, when I go into grade, I'll be able to pull your rubric, your lesson plan up, and I can grade it off of the rubric. This, again, is a guinea pig thing, and I understand that it could be a little quirky and probably drive you nuts. That is not what I want. So all I'm asking for you to do is submit your lesson plan brainstorming activity here under Brightspace and here. If this gets to be too much, just click and get your name in there. I will take care of, I can grade it if I have to, as long as you're in there. It does look like some people have clicked on it. I didn't see anything submitted. So if you've already thought that you submitted something to iRubric, please make sure you submit it here also. If I don't see something, I will be sure to contact you. And if I don't see it in either one of these places. But if I could, I would really love for everyone to get the iRubric a shot. I'm not asking you to spend an afternoon trying to figure it out. Just see if it'll submit for you. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Again, we're just guinea pigging this at the moment, trying to see what works and what doesn't. Chances are, if it's not working, it's not you, it's not me. There's something that we got to figure out. But that is the lesson plan assignment. So both an iRubric and here. And as you can see, I put there. Hopefully that makes sense in that respect. Submit it in iRubric, submit it on Brightspace. Same thing. It's just more of a CYA. I hate to put it that way, but that's kind of how I would look at it. All right. Next thing is actually, what is the lesson plan assignment? If you remember, at the first week, I kind of went down this road a little bit, but I definitely thought I needed to go back over it. When you go to week 4, I'll move some of this over too, so it's all in one spot. But if you go down to the bottom, there's again where the submission is. If you go here, there is a template, and I'll send that out to everyone. But if you go here, there are a bunch of different things. There are 4 brainstorming things. These are not full-blown lesson plans. Again, because there's a wide variety of everyone in this class, probably with the lesson planning experience. So there's some people who are just kind of starting out. Some people who have done a lot of planning at this point. Here's what I want you to do. You only need to do 3, as you said. The 4th one's optional. If you want to do a 4th one, I do kind of weigh it in sometimes with points if I don't see something in another one. But most of the time, everyone has everything into 3. You need to put your learning standards in this one. I'll show you where those are here in a minute. I posted them up on the website. I want West Virginia learning standards probably for most of you, but if you are, I'm phrasing this word, I'm fine with West Virginia learning standards, but if you want to put Maryland or Virginia or Pennsylvania, where some people might be from, and you think that's where you're going to teach, that's fine. What I'm saying is I don't care what state the standards are from. Most of you are going to put West Virginia. That was a very awkward way of saying that. And I'll show you those here right now. Let's go back. If you haven't done learning standards yet, fear not, you are welcome to contact me by email. You are welcome to stop by. My son is actually at the jazz camp here on campus. I'll probably be floating around most days from 9 to 12 in Community Hall. The only day I won't be here is the 22nd. But if you look down here, it says West Virginia Standards. If you click this, all of the content standards, hopefully, slowly popping up. And as you can see, they're here. There's other ways to find this. I just thought this was the easiest because it has them all, I believe, right here. So I'm a social studies person. Sorry, it's just where I click. But if you look, and you scroll down through a lot of wordiness here. But if I was going to teach, I'm a secondary person, and I'm just going to go mostly middle school. So let's go. Okay, here we go. 6th grade. Maybe I'm going to teach. You know what? I'm going to do 7th. If I'm going to teach something on the French Revolution, I might feel like that actually works with this. Examine world events to evaluate how the global landscape has changed over time. That right there is my standard. I think it helps to have the whole thing out, but as long as you get the number, I'm good. I can look it up if I have to, but if you want to type it out, it does help. It gives me a little vision. But that's what you need to do. And by the way, when you do this for your template, excuse me, when you do this, I have the template down there. Nah. When you do this for the 3rd time, you just need to, sorry. I think after doing this one time, I'm still trying to recover for refilming. That's not your problem. Let's redo this. When you hit this, when you put your standards in, you'll just put those there. You only need 1 or 2 standards. You really should only have 1 or 2 standards. You can't be teaching like 10 in a 40-minute period. So, I'm just looking for 1 or 2. You might have 3 or 4. That's possible. That's it. You just put those standards there and I'll be happy. I want a summary of the assignment. Again, doesn't have to be anything fancy. What the students are going to be doing and how they're going to be doing it and how you're envisioning it. Some people bullet it. Some people usually just type like a little short paragraph, just kind of give me a vision. Now, related to this class, technology, you can bullet the technology, but I want to know what technology you're using in the lesson. I don't care if it's Nearpod, Google Classroom, Pear Deck, Wakelet, Padlet, Flipgrid, your fun tech, if there's a fun tech you want to use, that's all fine. You need to have 3 different ones though. I want a different one for each lesson. That's not to say you couldn't have Google Classroom in each one, but I need to see 3 different techs used within this lesson. Like I don't want to see Google Classroom, Google Classroom, Google Classroom. I need to see maybe Google Classroom Nearpod, Google Classroom Wakelet, Google Classroom Flipgrid, something like that. I have had people in the past, and I'm not saying this isn't technology, but some people put smartboard. You can put that under the technology. I don't really usually count that though, because we don't get into smartboards too much for this class. And also, usually the smartboards are more teacher-oriented and student-oriented. I know there are activities that you can do for students on smartboards, but it seems like they've they're not as prevalent as they once were as being used in the classes. So you can use it as a tech, but I'd like to see 3 different techs than just smartboard. 21st century skills, you did a discussion board on that. By the way, I just read them on Tuesday. They were fantastic. But that's you just need 1 or 2 like collaboration, critical thinking, stuff like that. Any of the 21st century skills. It can be the big ones. It can be some of the sub ones. If you read the things, there's some ones that I'll shoot. And also, how are you going to assess this lesson? Are you going to use the technology? Are they going to use Kahoot? You're going to check for understanding. Are you going to do a paper? Are you going to do a test? You can, again, bullet this. Just give me a vision. My dream scenario is like, for example, if I was going to teach this and it was the French Revolution, I kind of envisioning this as a unit. So the first one here is, excuse me, I keep hiccuping and coughing. The first one, if I'm doing the French Revolution, might be the build up to the French Revolution. The second one might be the terror period of the French Revolution with like Robespierre. And the third one might be Napoleon. That's all one unit. With that being said, if you do 3 different lessons, I won't take off because I just want to see the 3 different texts. But I would really get used to kind of getting a vision and having that almost seeing it as a unit. This should not be too detailed. Well, a little bit of detail is fine. You don't, these are not full-blown lesson plans. And I will post up, I have some examples. I pulled one up right before I came on just to kind of give you an idea. But as you can see, this person went online. And by the way, you can cut and paste these from the standards. They put their standards in, they have 3. This is a math lesson, obviously. And as you can see from lesson 1, where this is showing up, it's a little quirky, but that's okay. As you can see, they go there and then it goes up. They did a standards for, they do their overview. We'll do that. Then they just, you see their summary there. It's very, very short. Students will listen to it as we go over 3-digit numbers and what place value means. Just an explanation about what you're trying to do. Technology, this is fine. They use Khan Academy. That's fine. Again, you could do that as one of your fun texts if there's good stuff on there. Critical thinking and initiative are their 2 21st century skills. Perfect. Description of assessment use. They're doing a formative, which is we mentioned this with the Quizlets and all. That's your less. That's kind of checking for understanding. It's the easiest way to think about it. Not the summative where you're doing like the big, like test and things like that. There's the summative. They're going to do an exit ticket. So that's fine. That's all I'm looking for. You can do it for any your content. I'll put this example up for you, but that is the lesson plan. Like I say, get your standards, summary, tech, and go in there. Please submit it both on the iRubric site and the Brightspace. I like it on both, just the protection, but we do need to get in the habit of doing iRubric. You all would be ahead of the game because you're gonna probably have to do it in the fall anyway. Some of you are actually in my 422 class. We're definitely using it in the fall. So with that being said, that's the lesson plan. Again, swing by if you have questions, email me, all totally good. The last thing, as far as both classes, is the Google Apple certification. A lot of people have already done this, which is awesome. I think jumping into it, nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's a good plan. Again, I've said this a few times. I personally would use the Apple because it seems like schools are starting to gravitate, especially on the lower grades, back to Apple with the pandemic kind of winding down. I added the Google one at the start of the pandemic because when that semester hit, and it was like in March, a lot of teachers were just jamming and throwing up Google Classrooms, which wasn't a bad idea at all. And it seemed like maybe some people needed some Google familiarity. Google requires you to pay $10 for that test. Sometimes you have to wait. If you do decide to take the test and you register and it's not, they're making you wait 2 to 3 weeks, just send me a screenshot that you have registered. That is fine. You don't have to pass the test. I just need to know that you're taking or have taken the test. It's a good resume material. I think the Apple is a little more slam dunky because you get it. And then also it's a great thing to put on the resume. We've actually had some schools actually ask if people are Apple certified as far as teaching goes. So I think it's a good thing to have. Plus you get a little certificate. So, you know, you can throw that in your portfolio. But with that being said, there's been some good questions with it. It says iPad or Mac. You can pick either pathway. I don't care. If you're more comfortable doing it on an iPad, great. If you want to do it on a Mac, fantastic. But let me show you something real quick. Whoops. Apple teacher video. This is very short, but I want to just show you how to sign up. Someone emailed me the other day and said, I don't know how to get from one page to the next. It's a very valid question. I don't want you all to have to fight through this for like weeks or days. It's just, you know, if you need help, contact. I'll put this video up. It's short, but it's to the point, which I kind of like. Something I don't do.
Hello, everyone. My name is David. I'll walk you through on how to get started with the Apple Teacher Certification. So if you go to appleteacher.apple.com, you'll see a sign-in page right here. Click there. And for this, use your personal email account. If you already have an Apple account with your personal email, go ahead and use that. And you'll see under your profile right here, you're able to also add the school. So I've added University of the District of Columbia right here to my profile. Now to start earning those badges, you can go ahead and preview this. Go to Foundational Skills. And
that's a big one. That's, I think, sometimes the statement I don't always make. And some people have asked, you just go to Foundational Skills and you'll earn these badges. They'll show you.
Scroll down at the bottom and you'll see this. It says Earn Badges for Mac. If I click on this, you'll see that there are 6 different badges you can earn for the MacBook track. Let me go ahead and click on Keynote as an example. So if I look at this Keynote track, I can go ahead and scroll down and you'll see these mini tutorials. For example, let's talk about photos in Keynote. So this will walk you through on how to add photos to Keynote. Once you're done with these mini tutorials, if you scroll down at the bottom, it will say start the quiz. Now remember that we will be doing the quiz together. We'll also be doing the portfolio activities together as well. But if you click right here, it says earn your badge, and you'll see this 5-question quiz where you can go ahead and choose the right answer, and you'll earn that badge. So I hope this helped. You can also click around, look about your Apple Teacher journey, also about building your Apple Teacher.
There you go. That's all you have to do. Let's see if I can get that down. There we go. All right, I'm getting him out of there. That's the Apple that you have to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Just do the foundational and the badges. With that being said, I think that is it. Your 2 discussions are here. You do have 2 discussions in this 10-day period. Do your social media one. I kind of showed you some Twitter, Facebook. There's also something called Ditch This Textbook that has some pretty cool templates. I don't know if I still have it up or not. No, I don't. They have templates for related to that too. Maybe I'll put that link up if I'm on the ball. Do discussion 4, do discussion 5. That's on VR. It talks a little more about the VR where you wear the glasses and whether it's feasible. I know they cost a lot, but it's still an interesting discussion. And if you can put some posts up there, you need to pick one. I don't know what a blog is, but I can do a blog. Let's do this. Rename that so I don't forget. Blog, I guess, would be more. I do know what a blog is, but we're not doing that. All right, let's see for this. There it goes. Don't forget to do blog 4. That's just picking one of the texts that you haven't done for Fun Tech and or another blog in the class. In this fall and then in the spring, we do 10 of these, and I just thought that was too many for everyone in a short amount of time. So just pick one. And 5, don't worry about 5. I'm just going to give you the credit for it. I think you're going to do 3 reviews. That's totally fine. That should do it if you're in 380. So what you have to do, discussions 4 or 5, blog 4, Fun Tech, Apple certification, lesson planning, all have to be in by the 23rd. With that being said, if you're in 380, you are welcome to shut me up and get out of here. Thank you all very much. All the work has been really good. Summer, usually people who are giving up some of their time in the summer are always like gung-ho and everything. So I think that is awesome. You all like kind of rock this. Don't forget, if there's anything that has been submitted and you don't have access or the grade hasn't been updated, just fire me an email. I'll make sure that it's done. If you have one of those quirky numbers. And when I mean submitted, I mean right now this would be probably through the 2nd week. I'll be hammering out some of the 3rd stuff early next week. I usually try to get it start on Sunday and get through as much as I can. Last week took me a little bit longer than I hoping, but I do look at everything. Oh, I wanted to make that point too. I said bye 380, maybe you already shut it off, but blogs, I think I've mentioned this, but just in case I don't always comment too much on the blogs because they're your opinions. So with that being said, 380, thank you all very much. 500, I'm going to take about 2 minutes of your time. I think I've already talked about this, but I want to make sure we're on the same page. You have your research assignment that's also due. I backed it up to the 23rd. I think I told you all that. I might have even said the 19th at first, but I think I can get them graded. So especially if some of you seem to turn stuff in early, which helps tremendously. If you go down, research paper is here. I have it on there, and there is a little tab here. But basically, most of you, well, I don't want to say most, a lot of you have already emailed me and asked about topics. It just needs to be a tech and education related topic, or 21st century skills related topic. And you need a 5 to 8 page paper, APA format. And that's really it. It can be double spaced, and I'll check them out. But if you have questions about it, please, contact me. I have things on the literature review. Most people don't take me up on that, but if you do decide to do it as a literature review instead, feel free to reach out to me. But other than that, 5 to 8 pages, normal research paper, education technology topic, APA format, due by the 23rd. That's it. That's kind of your all's difference between the two classes. It's just your graduate requirement. With that being said, thank you all very much. Everyone's done a great job with the work and bearing with these videos. I know they probably get a little longer than I intended them to be, but I feel like I got to get some stuff out just in case you need a point of reference. And I remembered to record this one, so that makes me very happy. So with that being said, I'm going to hit stop share and wish everyone a happy week. And hopefully I'll send out have a great summer after this video, but have a good summer.